Most dog owners think a belly rub, a treat, and a walk around the block are enough to keep their furry friends happy. But scientists are now revealing surprising facts about what truly makes dogs feel joy, and some of these will completely change how people treat their pets. From understanding their emotional world to knowing what frustrates them most, there's a lot people never realize about dog happiness. And the science is far more fascinating than anyone expects. Let's start with something shocking. Your dog doesn't always want more cuddles. For years, people assumed dogs were just furry love sponges that could never get enough affection. But research from the University of Vienna shows that some dogs get stressed when they're hugged or kissed too much, especially if it comes at the wrong time. Dogs communicate mostly through body language, and when their space is invaded while they're anxious or focused on something else, they can feel trapped. The result? A wagging tail on the outside, but tension on the inside. And that's just the beginning. A deeper look into dog psychology shows that happiness isn't just about treats and toys. It's about purpose. In fact, a 2021 study by researchers at the University of Helsinki found that dogs, like humans, crave something that gives them a role, a sense of doing something useful. Whether it's sniffing out toys in the backyard, learning new tricks, or even helping their owners carry the mail, these small tasks activate the reward centers in a dog's brain. One researcher put it simply, a job, no matter how small, makes a dog feel like it matters. Another surprising happiness trigger? Scent. Humans are visual creatures, but dogs experience the world through their noses. According to canine cognition expert Dr. Alexandra Horowitz, letting a dog sniff during walks, instead of constantly tugging them along, is like letting a human browse their favorite website. It's stimulating, calming, and deeply satisfying. One of her studies found that dogs allowed to sniff freely during walks were more optimistic and showed fewer signs of stress. In other words, the walk is not about exercise. It's about exploration. So the next time someone rushes their dog through a walk because they're short on time, they might be cutting short one of the most joyful parts of their dog's day. But here's something even more unexpected. Many owners assume dogs love constant company. After all, they're social animals, right? Yes and no. Research from the University of Lincoln showed that while dogs are pack-oriented, they also need alone time to recharge. Constant attention or overstimulation, especially in busy households, can actually lead to anxiety. This is especially true in homes with kids. Just like humans, dogs sometimes want to curl up somewhere quiet and be left alone. And respecting that makes them feel safer and more in control. One of the most powerful and misunderstood ways to make a dog happier lies in how humans speak to them. It turns out that dogs don't just react to words, but to tone, rhythm, and emotional energy. A 2020 study published in Nature found that dogs process speech using both sides of their brain, the left side to understand meaning, and the right to analyze tone. That means a dog knows when someone is being fake, frustrated, or overly babyish. And yes, the classic, "who's a good boy?" voice does work, if it's genuine. But fake cheerfulness? Dogs can spot it instantly. Let's talk about toys for a moment. Most owners assume more toys equal more joy, but a famous study from the University of Bristol showed something unexpected. Dogs get bored with their toys very quickly, unless those toys are rotated or linked to play with their humans. This is called habituation, and it means that a toy left out every day will become invisible to a dog after just a few days. The solution? Hide toys and reintroduce them like they're brand new. It taps into a dog's instinct for discovery and makes playtime feel exciting again. Now, here's a bombshell. Many dogs suffer from chronic low-level boredom, and no one notices. This kind of boredom isn't obvious, like chewing on furniture or barking nonstop. Instead, it shows up as quiet pacing, excessive sleeping, or constant paw licking. According to dog behaviorists, these are signs a dog isn't being mentally challenged enough, and fixing it isn't hard. Puzzle feeders, hide and seek games, even new walking routes. All of these wake up a dog's brain and reduce this hidden sadness. Another overlooked secret to dog happiness is music. Yes, dogs have musical preferences. A 2017 study from the University of Glasgow found that dogs in shelters became calmer and more cheerful when exposed to soft rock and reggae. Classical music had a calming effect too, but soft rock and reggae caused the biggest mood lift. What's more, dogs seem to enjoy variety. So rotating playlists can reduce stress and increase contentment, especially during alone time. Now let's bust one of the biggest myths of all, that treats are the best reward for training or affection. The truth: social praise often works better. Neuroscientists at Emory University trained dogs to sit in an MRI machine and found that most dogs had stronger brain responses to their owner's voice and touch than to food. That means when a dog brings back a ball or sits on command, a heartfelt good girl and a quick scratch behind the ears can make them happier than any biscuit ever could. And speaking of training, here's something wild. Dogs love rules. It sounds strange, but structure makes them feel safe. Inconsistent rules, like sometimes letting them on the couch and other times scolding them for it, create anxiety and confusion. Dogs don't understand sometimes. They understand always or never. Setting clear, consistent boundaries makes dogs feel secure and builds trust, which leads directly to a happier, calmer pet. One more secret weapon for joy: letting dogs make small choices. Animal behaviorists call this agency, and it's incredibly important for mental well-being. When dogs can choose whether to walk left or right, when to sniff a tree, or even pick which toy to play with, it boosts their confidence. It's like giving them a tiny bit of control in a world where almost everything is decided for them. Studies show that dogs given more choices are more relaxed, more obedient, and less likely to show behavioral issues. And let's not forget the science of eye contact. A groundbreaking study out of Japan found that when dogs and their owners make gentle, relaxed eye contact, both release a hormone called oxytocin, the same chemical that bonds mothers to babies. It literally strengthens the connection between human and dog. But here's the twist: too much direct staring, especially with wide eyes, can make a dog nervous. So the key is soft glances and blinks, not intense stares. Here's another shocker: your mood directly affects your dog's happiness. Dogs are emotional sponges. Multiple studies confirm that dogs can mirror their owner's stress levels. If someone comes home anxious, distracted, or grumpy, the dog picks it up, even without words. That's why one of the best things anyone can do to make their dog happier is to work on their own happiness. Calm, kind energy from a human leads to a calmer, more joyful dog. Now, while people often focus on what they give to their dogs, like toys, food, or walks, scientists say that how people react to their dogs may be even more important. One fascinating insight comes from studies in positive reinforcement training. Dogs don't just learn behaviors from rewards, they also learn emotional states from how their owners respond to their emotions. For example, if a dog gets startled by a loud noise and the owner panics, the dog is more likely to become fearful of that sound in the future. But if the owner stays calm and offers gentle reassurance, the dog learns that it's safe, and that trust builds emotional resilience. Over time, that resilience becomes a key part of happiness. Speaking of emotions, here's something that often gets missed. Dogs experience a range of emotions, but not always in the way people assume. According to animal cognition experts, dogs feel basic emotions like joy, fear, anger, and affection, but their understanding of guilt or shame is limited. So when a dog looks guilty after doing something wrong, what's really happening is that they're reacting to the owner's anger or tone of voice. That guilty look is just appeasement, not actual remorse. This matters because punishing a dog after the fact can actually increase stress and confusion, not reduce unwanted behavior. Instead, building a positive emotional environment is one of the most powerful ways to boost a dog's happiness. This means celebrating successes, staying patient during mistakes, and always making training feel like a game instead of a chore. When dogs feel emotionally safe, their brains release more dopamine, the feel good chemical that boosts learning and energy. That's why happy dogs are not just more obedient, they're more eager, creative, and curious. Now, let's take a closer look at how dogs play. Most people assume dogs just chase balls or wrestle with other dogs, but recent research shows that play is actually a form of communication, and it reflects how dogs feel about themselves and their relationships. In fact, animal behaviorists say that play can be used to measure a dog's well-being. A dog that initiates play often, especially in a relaxed and gentle way, is typically more emotionally balanced. On the other hand, a dog that avoids play or plays too aggressively may be showing signs of stress, fear, or even frustration. So, encouraging regular, playful interaction, not just physical play, but emotional play, helps dogs develop stronger bonds and confidence. For example, tug of war, when done with clear rules, is a great way to let dogs feel powerful while still staying connected to their humans. It gives them a thrill, satisfies their natural instincts, and strengthens their social skills, all at the same time. Here's something else that most dog owners don't know. The layout of a home affects a dog's mood. Environmental psychology isn't just for humans. Dogs also benefit from spaces that allow freedom of movement, cozy places to hide or rest, and areas where they're not constantly being interrupted. Open floor plans may feel great to people, but dogs sometimes prefer having quiet corners where they can observe without being in the middle of everything. Just having a consistent, safe dog spot, like a bed or crate that's always available and never used for punishment, can reduce anxiety and give dogs a secure home base. Another aspect of canine happiness that often gets ignored is aging. As dogs get older, their needs change, but people don't always adjust their routines. Older dogs might not want to run as far or jump as high, but they still crave mental engagement and emotional connection. Scientists have found that senior dogs benefit immensely from activities that challenge their minds. Things like scent games, light agility training, or even teaching them new tricks at a slower pace. And just like humans, dogs that stay mentally active as they age tend to stay happier, healthier, and more social for longer. And finally, here's one of the most beautiful takeaways from all this science. Dogs don't want perfect homes. They want connected ones. It's not about having the best treats, the biggest yard, or the most expensive bed. What dogs crave most is attention, purpose, clarity, and emotional presence. They are tuned into the human world in ways that go far deeper than most people understand. And when owners tune back in, magic happens. So, the next time someone wonders if their dog is truly happy, they shouldn't just ask, "Did I walk them today?" Instead, they should ask, "Did I let them sniff? Did I give them a choice? Did I speak to them with heart? Did I make them feel seen?" Because the answers to those questions hold the real secret to dog happiness. And now that scientists are finally revealing the truth behind the wagging tails, it's time for every dog lover to listen and make their best friend's life even better.